respect him. I don't respect him anymore because he say I'm not gonna do what they want me to do and this and that.
There's no chance. But then I watched it the next month. I was like, he actually did way better than I thought he would have did. But people forget Jake Paul, rostered Ohio State rostered. So he's tough. He's not as good boxer, as good skill, but he's tough.
Jake Paul beat Anthony Joshua. That's insane. That's not real. That's not real in any facet. There was never a chance.
Canelo Alvarez absolutely humiliated Jake Paul after his fight with Anthony Joshua. And I mean, he didn't hold back at all. He came out saying Jake should just stop pretending to be a real boxer, like straight up told him to quit the act. What's really cutting about Canelo's comments is how he mocked Jake for trying to step into a world that's far, far beyond his level. We're talking about the difference between legitimate world-class boxing and whatever it is Jake's doing. Canelo was insistent, making it crystal clear that Jake needs to stick to what he actually is. Instead,
Mistakes, right? But you need to do your best or do what you do, not try to be something else. Just do your best as a person. Sometimes it's enough. Sometimes for.
Dillian White admits something that pretty much everyone already knew. Jake Paul stood absolutely no chance against Anthony Joshua. Like zero chance from the start. But here's what's interesting. Even White himself was genuinely surprised by how long Jake actually managed to last in there. Jake showed real toughness, which White thinks likely comes from his wrestling background, that ability to take punishment and keep going. But let's be real about what happened. Jake survived by playing it extremely safe, rather than actually trying to win the fight. He wasn't in there competing for victory. He was in survival mode from the opening bell. And this is where White makes a crucial point. This is where it should stop, like right here, right now. We're talking about taking repeated heavy shots, suffering broken jaws, and enduring brutal mismatches that no amount of money or fame should justify. This isn't sustainable or smart for anyone's long-term health and well-being. Even White makes it crystal clear that if he faced Jake himself, the fight wouldn't last long at all. Jake proved he's got toughness, nobody can take that away from him, but continuing down this path only risks serious, potentially permanent damage to his health.
Then I watched it the next month. I was like, he actually did way better than I thought he would have did. But people forget Jake Paul rostered Ohio State rostered. So he's tough. He's not as good boxer, as good skill, but he's tough. You know, wrestling is a very competitive sport in America, and to be a Ohio State wrestling level, you have to be they're physically tough and physically strong. You know, so yeah, he was tough. That's why he survived in there. He did what he had to do in there. He got tagged with a few shots, and he did extremely well. AJ did poor.
In those situations where the fighter is that negative and had those kind of tactics, he went to ground a few times, etc. I don't think people quite understand it. It doesn't matter who you are, it's quite difficult. People expect AJ within 20 seconds to literally, with the first punch thrown or the first jab thrown, just to knock him out. It's not that easy, is it, when a fighter is kind of going in there to just survive?
It's always easier to beat someone that's coming to win than someone that's in there to survive. But they should know that. They should know that Jake Paul is never going to come to win. But it's just mad that AJ couldn't cut the ring off. He just made him run. He couldn't cut the ring off and hit with punches, and he was swinging and missing a few times. And obviously Jake Paul was hitting with a few punches. I was like, I was surprised that he you know. And I was surprised that it took so much runs to get him out of there. And then when he did knock him out, he didn't knock him out. He broke his jaw and stuff, but Jake was alright. He just sort of got up and just said, my jaw is broken. He didn't get swapped. And I was kind of surprised. I was very surprised. Because that right hand was a big one. I thought, damn, okay. He took it and got up. So maybe Jake is a physically tougher and stronger person than people think he is.
I'm assuming you don't blame Joshua for the money being talked about, 40-50 million, for doing that. No.
No, I'll take that. I'll definitely take that. I'll fight Jake Paul next if he wants it. I'll take that. But I'll go after him though. I'll tell you what, I'll definitely put him away 1 or 2 rounds. No way he's getting past that. Because that's like, that's such a big moral victory for Jake saying.
Might surprise people, Jake Paul has actually improved significantly since his earlier fights, showing genuinely better technique, timing, and resilience inside the ring. He admitted that Jake's progress is noticeable when you compare his recent performances to where he started, and his determination and work ethic are genuinely commendable. You can see Jake's been putting in real hours at the gym, working with legitimate trainers, and trying to develop actual boxing skills. However, and this is a big however, Canelo made it absolutely clear that despite these improvements and all the progress Jake's made, he should call it quits now, like immediately. He's already taken on way more than he should have, facing opponents far beyond his level and risking serious, potentially life-altering injury with every fight. Canelo emphasized that continuing down this